Hello, everyone. I'm Jean-Claude BeyondMystic, and welcome to this Monday night deep woo-woo episode of Tarot Readings by Janine. Janine is, in fact, out of jail, and you can find her here at Sending Ravens on YouTube, and also at Tarot by Janine. Janine, welcome back to the show. How's it going?
Hi, Jean-Claude. It's going good. I just got enough steam to get through the show.
Well, let's start with that. Janine, you were woken up this morning by universe around 4 a.m. and you just couldn't sleep. What the hell happened this morning?
I could not sleep, but 4:30, and then I tried going back to sleep, but my phone kept pinging because by then I turned it on for a minute, so then it just kept pinging. People were emailing and texting me the information about the truckers because everybody knows I'm really into those truckers. I think they're awesome. Mm-hmm. And I think they're going to save the planet. Truckers are going to save the planet. I love it.
Who would have known? Exactly.
That's a book. Yeah. That's a book. Anyway, I found out they were going through town at about 6:37 a.m. or supposedly that they were. So I went rushing down there to where they were. It was about 25 minutes away from where I am. And I couldn't get near them. I circled and tried really hard, but I couldn't get close enough, unfortunately, to really get a good look at what was going on there. But fascinating how many people showed up. I was thrilled at the turnout and how many truckers. That line of trucks is miles long, miles.
Well, that can't be, Janine. That has to be propaganda because I was reading CBC News this morning and they were reporting on a few hundred truckers, maybe not more, but they said that they were protesting the dangerous conditions on BC highways. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, not true. No,
they actually made a retraction to this afterwards. It was like, oh, they are, but that was a separate issue. We weren't trying to cover up the fact that there's 36 or maybe now 100,000 trucks in the combo. Oh my God, it's so hilarious. These guys.
And they keep saying they're just from British Columbia. They keep saying that. They're from all over Canada and the US.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, exactly. And they're coming from both sides of the country and from the US. And they're all headed for Ottawa. Look out.
Yeah. And the thing is that regular people are joining the convoy too. It's not just trucks now. It's like, this is going to be massive. Yeah. And it's funny because this morning I saw a report of this. I didn't actually see it from the Canadian government, but I saw reports on some social media that Mr. T here in Canada had designated the truckers a terrorist organization. So I was like, oh yeah, just like they did to the nurses in Quebec and just like they did to the soccer moms during the political campaign and, you know, the tour bus of Mr. T here during the election. Of course, they're all terrorists. And I start to wonder, at some point, people will say, well, wait a second. So basically, if you're not a tyrannical government leader, everybody else is a terrorist. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it works. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here tonight. This is a live interactive show. We have a lot on the slide deck. And yes, Nikki, 70 kilometers long of a convoy. That's a lot of trucks coming to Ottawa. Cliff High was posting earlier today, well, what is Mr. T here in Canada going to do? Is he going to send the troops? Is he going to put blockades with military tanks? What's he going to do? Let's pull some cards here and see how our Mr. T is going to fare dealing with this particular thing that they cannot, of course, ignore.
Now, the cards are going to pick up on what he's thinking about doing right now, just so you know. It could change.
Yeah.
So we'll just have a look.
Okay.
Three and two. Well, he has no idea what he's going to do. He has no idea. It looks like he's depending on other people. He's at a complete loss, you know, but we know that he's a double, or at least I know he's a double. So that the double's not really on his toes here on this one. He has no clue. 2 2s. He's just tossing around all kinds of things. Well, he could do this and he could do that. And he has no idea what he's going to do. And he's kind of just hoping it all goes away.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Hey, folks, I wanted to share with you a video. Let me see if I can find that link. For some reason, it just came off my page. Let me scroll down. There's a lot here going on tonight, guys. Let me see here. Hold on. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot. I'm almost there. It has to do with David Icke's recent video. Oh, here I have it. On London Real. this is absolutely fascinating because, of course, the more things are coming out into the open and the more human consciousness is rising to the fact that we've been duped, the more this gentleman and people like him are being vindicated, and in a big, big way. That was fascinating to me. So guys, if you haven't seen this episode, please do go check it out. You'll find it on, everybody's re-uploading it, and we have permission to re-upload it here on BitChute and Rumble. So go check it out. But what was interesting there is he's been vocal in the past about not liking Mr. T in the States. And that's fair enough. Everybody has their own reasons for why they do and do not. But what was interesting, I believe maybe Mr. Ike was watching our last show because we talked about the fact that, yeah, you can disagree and you can like him or hate him. But at the end of the day, if we play it through and we say, yes, 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 he's absolutely the knight on the white horse coming to save the day, the fact is, he's not going to save the day if he's coming back tomorrow. We've been devolving and sending out our manufacturing processes to China and around other places around the world to make us so dependent in the situation we're in now, where we have all of these shortages and we're depending on everybody else for our goods and services. That doesn't get fixed tomorrow because Mr. T comes back. Yes, some people would argue in the chat that, yes, okay, we'll have better leadership than the pretendency we have now. And speaking of that, Mr. B today was calling a reporter who was asking questions about inflation, one stupid son of a bitch. We'll get to that a little bit later on in the show here. But my point is, with this whole conversation, we need to self-actualize. We need to be responsible. And I think what's really cool about this interview with David Icke was he's saying, listen, everybody's asking, well, what's everybody going to do to fix this? And they're forgetting, what am I going to do to stop this process from happening right now? We're talking about the world situation and where the cult wants to bring humanity. And the answer to that for him is, of course, we need to stop acquiescing. That's the problem. If all of us stop acquiescing and taking charge and taking our power back, this thing would be over already. And I see a lot of people in the chat room right now, when is this movie going to be over? When you stop acquiescing, really. And when you teach other people to stop acquiescing. Janine, your thoughts on that first.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it took me till really the last, maybe since Christmas, to stop wearing a mask myself in places that are really stringent about it. Mm-hmm. But finally, I just went, I got to start listening to my own advice and just just see what happens. And you know what's really, and I'd have these big speeches already. And I've never actually used them except once, maybe, or twice, maybe twice. But that's it. In all of those times, I just waltz in, even big department stores that most people would be of. Oh, I went into the Bay the other day and nobody even said a word. In fact, sometimes they treat you even nicer because you're brave enough or something. It's very interesting. So we're all responsible. We all have to stop saying yes to things that make no sense and are not good for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's interesting about what you just said there too, in the mainstream media, they make it a point that, oh, when somebody gets arrested in a specific store for not wearing a mask, they'll run that 24/7 to scare the rest of us. But the majority of cases, I believe, is what Janine is just talking about now. People eventually, like, they've had their fill of this. And of course, now, if you look at the news, this thing is over. So there's still some countries out here, including ours in Canada, who haven't gotten the memo yet. But if you look at what's happening in the UK, you're realizing that this is crumbling really, really fast, and countries are adding up to that. And just now, before we went live, one of the states' Supreme Court voted that the New York mask mandate is unconstitutional. So this is breaking up really, really fast, guys. But again, the more we accelerate our non-acquiescence or not complying tactics, the quicker this is going to end. So not advocating for violence, of course. Jenny and I never do that, but we're just saying, no, take back your power, because those fuckers out there, the only power they have is the power we give them. So if we take it back, game over. And this is what the truckers are doing. So a big kudos to all of the truckers, because they're not just pushing for a reprieve of the mandates on the Trucking Association. They're saying they're not leaving Ottawa until it's all over. So Mr. T here has a conundrum in front of him, and it'll be interesting to see what type of moves come from that. Darlene says, you got that right, JC. And Janine, of course, you got that right. We got it right. Okay. And guys, if you agree with us, stop acquiescing, just type it into the chat right now. Show YouTube what do we think. Now, on that note, going back to the conversation that David Icke was espousing in this video, I had a similar conversation with Penny Kelly last week, and it was a controversial conversation. I don't agree with everything Penny says, but at the same time, I do respect the things that she's trying to do for humanity. She does work to raise consciousness, and she does amazing work. And I believe that at the end of the day, she wants the same thing. And she espouses those views on the show where she says, we need to come together and decide what we want for ourselves, and we need to take actions and not look for these external saviors. And there was a lot of difficulty in the chat last week, and I want to mention that. And a few of my moderators pointed out to me that some of my moderators were deleting comments of people who didn't agree with the guests on my show. And that's inappropriate, guys. I just have to tell you, I would never delete people who disagree with either myself or my guests on the show. What I will delete is very mean and vicious personal attacks. Yes, absolutely that. But for people who don't agree, that's okay. Leave the chat. This is why we're having these conversations. Some of them are more difficult, of course, and some of them are triggering to some people, of course. But having this conversation and building this community is what my show is all about, bringing diverse opinions to the chat so that we can all learn and absorb and use our discernment. So please, moderators out there, I gave wrenches to you guys, but please follow me in that example of leaving everybody's opinion safe and intact on my show. And yes, please continue to delete the vicious and personal attacks. Those are absolutely not appropriate, and I won't stand for those on my show. So a big thank you to all your moderators for the amazing work that you guys do. Janine, any last thoughts on that, on censorship and
it does seem to be the theme towards the end of this crescendo thing that's been happening? And I'm not saying it's going to be the end, because then there'll be the fixing part. But the end of sort of the movie, I guess, in a way, it seems the theme is just tolerance, because everybody's at their wits' end and they're intolerant, even each truthers towards each other and each other's opinions. Intolerance. Like, you don't have to watch everybody. If somebody doesn't like really make you feel inspired or really you learn something from them, then stop watching them. But you don't have to leave a nasty comment or rip them apart or whatever. Right? I just don't watch them, and that's okay, because maybe they're going to be right, or they have some piece that's right, and but this other thing isn't, or whatever. But we're all going to soon find out. So how about we just observe and just go with what kind of resonates with you?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, have compassion for everybody else who's out here trying to figure that out and trying to to share that with the audience. And that's not easy work, guys. I know, and Jenny knows. We're out here every day doing it, and we don't always get it right. We're trying to get it right. Our intentions are in the right place. And again, just compassion for everybody, guys. We're almost there, and I don't want to see the infighting in my community. That's not what my show is all about. Yeah. So a big thank you for everyone for letting me rant a little bit on that one. Okay, Janine, let's go back to our news board here. This is absolutely interesting because you and I recorded the last Beyond Crypto Woo here a couple of days ago. That's available now on pay-per-view. I'll get back to that in a second. And today we recorded the Astro Woo Finance. So the merging of the Astro and Tarot financial outlook for 2022, the month of February. And what came up here in Mr. B's astrological chart is that something was going to be taken away from him, especially as it pertains to his finances, not just necessarily the handle on power, but something with his finances. And as Julie was talking about that, I saw this scroll by on Zero Hedge. Mr. B's family received $31 million from individuals with direct ties to the CCP. Imagine that. So is this an indication in the news, Janine, or a preemptive a shot across the bow here to tell Mr. B that he's about to be maybe parted with some of his legitimate gains?
I think that might have happened a long time ago.
And we're about to hear about it then.
Yeah, this already happened to him. He's already sad about his finances. I think it already happened to him. That feels like his son next to him here. This feels like him because I pulled the first card for him, and that's him. So we got this person's a little bit depressed. And, you know, so if he's still with us on the earth plane, you know, unless this is his soul self essence, that's like maybe looking back at its life and feeling like maybe they have to do a few things different. That's another way I could read that. But if he's still with us, he's really depressed. And I think that already happened to him. And this feels like his son. I wonder if something's trickling down to the family members where they're going to be the ones taking the hit for. So it's in his chart that that's happening, but it could just be family money being taken away from the.
That makes sense too. And if you look at what's happening, to some of the elites in Kazakhstan, the families are not being saved also. So the houses are being burned, people are being rounded up. Of course, they're not reporting that in mainstream news right now, but this is also going to be making its way here to our global consciousness very soon. Let's go to our PayPal tip jar. Thank you so much, everyone, for supporting the show. Angela, this is a cool question. Thank you both for all you do. There is a male voice that speaks through my phone when I'm talking. Can you tell me who he is and what message he's trying to bring?
Well, there was that end part there. What was that end part? She had an end part.
All we can hear is hello and the word truth. Okay. Thank you so very much.
My voice speaks through my phone when I'm talking. Interesting. So over her talking, a male voice comes on.
This is what I'm getting. As she's having, Angela, conversations with other people, she hears this male voice coming in, saying the word hello and the word truth that they can hear, but she wants to know what's the overall message that's being trying to convey and who perhaps that person is. That's a fascinating question.
Well, it does look like she is getting a message from an entity that might be a little bit stuck because they've been very dysfunctional. And but they're trying to get a hold of her, and maybe they're using the phone to do it. Or like some entities drop things around the house or move things or whatever. This entity is using the phone, and they had a life of dysfunction. I wonder who used to own her house. I wonder, and I even connected the dysfunction to things that we've been talking about on the show, like party substance and yucky things like that. Okay, so they've been involved in things like that, and they're trying to get a hold of somebody to maybe tell their truth or the truth about the situation. That, I mean, the word they're saying kind of is a big indicator. I think they're saying the word truth. So the truth is coming out. I think they lived their whole life in the dysfunction and somehow got away with it this lifetime. Like a lot of people did. Like they lived their whole life doing things like that and pretended to be a nice person. I mean, think about all the Hollywood people that did that.
Yeah.
Exactly. And are doing that. Or, well, I don't think they're doing it anymore. To be honest, I think there's a whole, that Hollywood's taken down in the background. I really believe that. But this person got away with it, left the earth plane. Now they're energetically sorting themselves out. And they're using the phone to put the word out somehow. She's picking up on it.
Wow. Okay. That's fascinating. Another fascinating question here from the PayPal tip jar from Susan. Susan, let me see if I can bring this up on the screen for everyone. And this is a recurring theme here because of everything that's happening in our medical industry and the breakdown of that particular system. I'm currently an energy healer. I have been told I was a healer in other lives, including Arcturus. I'm interested about that. Is this really true? Thank you so much for your work. For Susan. Arcturus connections to healing and past lives.
They got family connections to that place. So is that a place?
Yeah, Arcturus star system.
Yeah, they got family connections and they get communicated to through that. And if they use so this guy's, if you look at him, he's channeling energy, right? So he's got his wand pointing up. So he's channeling it from the universal knowing, and then it comes out the other hand. So it goes through one hand and out the other. I sometimes stand on if I have a balcony, or right now I just sort of have a stoop in front of my house. So I sometimes like to channel energy from the universe when I really need an answer. I'll go outside, do that exact stance, and I can feel energy coming through, and it's very powerful. Or if I want to shift a situation, of course the neighbors think I'm weird, but I feel like that energy that this person's connected to from other lifetimes, and even has family connections to, so some bloodline there, is channeling through them, and could really help them work on their healing practice and really rock their career if they wanted to. So if they owned that and started investigating that, just be open to it. When I started channeling, like in a bigger way, I remember opening my heart. I did a ritual outside, and I opened my heart to what the universe wanted to use me for this lifetime. What's my purpose? What's my work? But I asked the universe to make it my life work. So they might want to do a little, like go out and have a little connection like that, and just open up to, and I dedicated myself to it. But, to whatever degree they want to open up, because they have the ability to channel that, some kind of energy that'll really speed up their career if they want.
I've been guided to ask you, because of the breakdown and everything, and because maybe of the connection to Arcturus, is this person also going to be teaching that in the new world? So not only participating, being a healer themselves, but teaching these new modalities here on Earth.
Maybe in a really subtle way. So that's either they're kind of the shyer type, so literally teaching isn't, but this feels like a more subtle way of teaching. The high priestess is really subtle. So, and this works on it over time. So maybe one-on-ones, they might take on apprentices, but they're not necessarily standing up in front of a class. That wouldn't be the style of the high priestess. So maybe in a fashion they would, or maybe even like writing a book about it, or doing something where it's more detached, so they can do their work and then put it out there for people, but they don't have to stand out in front of them. Not everybody has that kind of like desire to do that, first of all.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Well, thank you so much for that PayPal tip. You guys are amazing. Let me bring that link again up on the screen. A big thank you to all you supporters. It is, of course, what makes it possible for Janine and I to be doing all of these free shows on YouTube. And of course, we do split the tips every night, just so you know. I forget, I don't say that every show, but yes, Janine and I do split these, and they do make a difference to both of us. Absolutely. So a big thank you to all you guys. I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was this show when I was a kid, this movie, Red Dawn with Patrick Swayze. Do you remember seeing that show, Janine? That movie?
I remember the title, but I can't remember if I saw it. It doesn't look like something I would have sought out.
Okay, so this was interesting because these were Americans, civilians, who had to fight an invasion. And in this particular movie, it was an invasion by the Soviet Union on American ground. And so this was a story of boys coming to age, coming to be men, and having to fight to defend their country on their ground. Now, the reason I bring this up, what was interesting today, Cliff High posted this interesting tweet on his Twitter, and he's talking about this naval observatory here where there's some serious military activity, quote unquote, happening, and it appears to have something to do with perhaps infiltration or sabotage agents trying to bring America down so that the CCP, not the Soviets, could come and maybe take over. Now, we understand that through the political system, through the financial system, the CCP has engineered something that's going around the planet right now. We won't get into that. But they're also engineering the purchase of a lot of our farmland. They're dealing with, of course, a massive population over there, the knowledge that we're not heading into global warming. We're actually going in the opposite direction. And so perhaps there would be an intention to also invade, not just weaken us through the situation that's happening now, but actually have boots on the ground. So apparently here, there's some military activity happening there, and it's in the same neck of the woods as the movie Red Dawn. So it made me think of that when I saw this. So let's pull some cards here to see if, in fact, seeing as maybe the narrative is breaking down itself, they might want to accelerate their plans to put boots on the ground to continue what was ultimately maybe a land grab in order to be able to produce more food during this solar minimum. Is that what's happening?
Okay, so the whole story's suspicious when this is the first card about it.
Okay.
Because this can be trickery, and it's badly aspected with this card.
Okay.
So I wonder if they're putting something out there that's already been stepped back. So they might have stopped it. It was happening. And they're still allowing the story to float. So it looks like it's still happening.
Okay.
But the fact that the Three of Swords, and then this is in the past. So they might have already put the stop to that. But it could have been something that was developing and was going to hurt and was meant to. They were meant to do that. But now the story is just that, a story, because somehow they're wanting to get that story out just so you know who you're dealing with, maybe.
So basically us learning that we were on the brink. So these news stories are coming out to show you how bad it could have been here. Okay.
Because that card's safe. We're safe. There's safety, but they're looking out at the world. Maybe they're trying to get our attention over there to look at what was happening. And this is the way they're doing it, but at the same time secured that area.
Wow. Okay. That's fascinating. Let's go to Mr. B here. Today, in a hot mic moment, some reporter was asking him, of course, about inflation, seeing as most Americans are worried about inflation. It is the big concern of the day, even though the mainstream media is telling us that there's no inflation, or it's just transitory, or in fact that it's going to be good for us, right? Nobody seems to believe that when we're paying the prices we're paying for food and electricity right now. So it is a question of concern. And so this reporter was being ushered out and was trying to get this last question in from Mr. Biden here. And at the end of the clip, let me see if I can bring this up for the audience here. See if we can get to hear.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
What a stupid son of a bitch, quote unquote. Okay, interesting. What's That's nasty as hell. Like, we don't care about you. Come on, don't ask stupid questions. Well, it's not a stupid question. It's a very relevant question. So what do you make of it? Is this a play somehow? Is it just a senile moment? Is he being scripted to say these things to maybe enrage the population again, to wake us up, part of us up? What's going on with this weird clip from today?
Well, I do want to point out the picture of him you showed from his earlier days with his son doesn't look anything like this guy.
That's true.
Okay, they planted it. They planted that whole thing in it. Like, he had to say that. He was given the words to say, and he just says them. So he was given the script.
Wow. Man, you're right, man. He looks so different.
Look at his blue eyes there.
Yeah.
He doesn't have his eyes. Some of the times they're hazel brown. Sometimes they're blue. But yeah, so we got a couple of people playing them here.
And the ear structure also is often different. Like, it's a different earlobe. It doesn't match. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. Let me go into our insider access pass. What's all this? Am I in the right chat? Something's different here. Hold on. Did I log into the right thing? Are you guys there? Oh, there you go. Okay. XRP question from Big Tuna. So this is the insider access pass. There are riddles I have in a public channel. Particularly. Oh my God, this is a long question, guy. Good or bad? Man, okay. I'm going to have to tackle that in a different show. I understand the question, but it's going to be too long to explain for everyone. But having said that, you and I, Janine, did just record the last Beyond Crypto Woo. Now, I know sometimes when you channel, you don't really remember everything you say in the show. Do you perhaps remember, again, what you were pulling for XRP in this last episode? If not, I'll fill in the blanks for you, and I'll ask you a question.
No, I don't.
Okay. So again here, time and time again, XRP is moving out of troubled waters, and we're getting this huge abundance card. Now, what was interesting is I was asking Janine about some of the comments that Jim Willie had just made in my last Jim Willie episode about the role of XRP moving forward as we decentralize and move into this multipolar world of different currencies. And to that, the answer was yes, there was a big role to play there for XRP. Now, there's still a lot of people asking, well, where do I get XRP? It's unlisted from some accounts. Of course, there's a lawsuit going on with the SEC. And on that too, when I asked Janine, it's always the same card, eventually pulling out of troubled waters. So hopefully, a Big Tuna, that answers your question. And for now, and for those of you who are looking for XRP, this is not financial advice. You can use a VPN to get it in different places where they've relisted it. And you can also use something like Simple Swap to maybe swap one of your current currencies for XRP without having to deal with an exchange. So just a big update on that. And also, if you're interested in knowing which perhaps cryptocurrency is going to make a 200x gain, please do go and check this one out. That was absolutely fabulous. Again, very surprising here how many things are about to change in the crypto world, including a gold and silver. And we'll get back to silver a little bit later on the show. So guys, that's available now. Go and check that out at beyondmystic.net. And you're looking for the pay-per-view series of Beyond Crypto View. Beyond Crypto, woo, not view. Those are other people, not me. So big shout out. I guess Dick Algier is remote viewing me right now. So I was thinking about him. Okay, this is a weird story in Quebec. Cubicles for Quebecers who made a different medical choice, quote unquote, inside the Quebec Walmart. So you kind of have to wait in a cubicle if you're on whatever, if you've made a different choice, in order to be eventually escorted to have your products here at the pharmacy. Holy shit, Janine, like this is getting crazier and crazier. My God, what's happening in Quebec?
Everybody should not ever shop there again. Okay. For a lot of reasons, but that just added to the list.
Yeah. Well, and also Quebec is instituting this I guess new mandate of sorts where big box stores are going to refuse access to the unwilling here, especially if those big box stores' main product is not food. So they're starting to cramp down again here and restrict the movements and restrict the ability of the unwilling to participate in the economy. Very frustrating. Is this a psyop, Janine? Is this for real? Is this the Onion? And like, or is this another weird kind of stores taking it up itself because they have their own little Nazis running around the show? Or what's going on that one?
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I feel like it is them just taking it. They're almost like brown nosing or something. Yeah, like they want to appear like, okay, so maybe they've done a little survey on their own and decided that most people will like them better if they do that. Because, they only care about money. So they've decided that they're going to go that route. They just decided that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to be liked. They want to appear a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just trying to find the place where they're, and so somebody gave them the advice. So that this is like maybe getting advice from an expert on it, that that's what they should do. But they're going to soon step it back, drop it like a hot potato, because it'll make them less popular, not more popular.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there is something wrong with my Discord channel. For some reason, I just got a message here that everybody's posting or I'm in the wrong channel, and I don't understand. Insider. There you go. Okay. I had to reboot here in the last show for some reason, and I lost my access to the Discord. Now I'm in. Now I see all of your questions. Okay. Somebody had texted me that last one personally. I'm like, oh, how'd that get there? Okay. I'm there. So thank you, whoever that mod was, to bring my attention to that. There's a lot of screens going on here, and it is, I've been working a lot today, a lot of shows. Okay, Janine, this one here is absolutely cool to me. This bus going around now. Wow.
I shared it. That. Somebody gave it to me, and I was like, "Oh yeah."
Look at all those famous individuals there. Absolutely,
I love incredible.
It. Isn't that a wake-up call for people walking down the street? Like, what?
It's brilliant.
Brilliant. Okay, Who's behind this one? Again, overzealous, maybe a bus company, maybe a sponsor, financial sponsor who decided to pay for an ad himself, or is this coordinated perhaps by the white hats? What's going on with that in our story?
Yeah, there's all kinds of truth or crazy stuff in your face.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I heard this story about, I guess, Prince Harry. It's now come out. Of course, we knew this years ago that his like baby Archie was a big story. And now even the Queen's really mad at him because they fooled the royal family. Like the whole thing's a psyop. Stuff like this is coming out. I think we're reaching the end of the movie, guys. So here's who's in charge. Mr. T in the White House.
Oh, wait, let me bring you up a little bit higher. Okay, there you go. Go ahead.
That's my alliance, or Mr. T in the White Hats. Okay, they just thought it would be funny. They did it because they thought it would be funny. Okay.
I love it. I think it's
funny.
Okay, Jersey, your show's coming out all blurry. No, Janine's connection, even today while we were recording the Astro
really?
show,
Oh,
yeah. Maybe you're gonna have to talk to your supplier to up your bandwidth a little bit on the upload side. I think you're downloading fine, but when you're sending out data in this live stream, I've noticed in the last month you get foggy a lot or you freeze on screen. So, folks, there's nothing I can change right now. It's a bandwidth issue. But yeah, we'll try to look into it. Somebody told me the other day, oh, Janine needs to clean her camera. It's smudgy. I was like, nope, it's not a physical problem. It's a bandwidth problem. I appreciate the comments. Everybody just wants to see you, Janine. You're just so cute. What's that cool kimono top you're wearing?
Yeah,
I love the color.
Look at the inside.
Yeah,
it's purple. It's like velvet.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, it's velvet. Oh, yeah, crushed velvet.
Yeah,
oh,
I love it.
Very nice. Wow. Somebody on the screen says, Charlie Ward and Simon Parks report that General Flynn is wearing a white hat. Janine, we'll come back to that at a certain point, but not tonight.
We will. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll tackle that.
Okay, we'll tackle that at some point. And guys, you need to trust us. There's divine timing in all of this too. So there's articles and news items and stories going around that we're deliberately choosing not to address at this particular point. And we believe we're doing that for the highest good, just so you know. So, all right. Let's get back to maybe some questions. Let me see if I can get a insider access pass one. Okay, this is interesting. It's a similar question we had last week, but Jill is asking, question, will Mr. B be the first one to be arrested to shock the world? Somebody asked that question about somebody else last week about Clinton, and it wasn't Clinton. So let's ask now about Mr. B.
Well, Mr. B's time's almost up. That part's true, but it doesn't look like he'll be the first. Also, this is indicating that he's been already, rounded up, but we already know that. No, it's not going to be him.
Okay.
Won't be the first anyway. That's not what I'm getting anyway.
Okay. That's interesting. There's a meme going on, and I figured, we could talk about this meme. I think it would be funny and fair to talk about this particular meme. Let me bring up our PayPal tip jar again. A few people asking. All right, so let me bring that up on the screen here. And let's go with this funny meme. Actually, let me bring that off the screen so we have the more realistic here. But this is somebody created this amazing poster here, and it's Cliff High navigating humanity through the woo. And I thought it was absolutely funny because somebody sent it to Cliff. Of course, he didn't create this. And he tweeted and says, man, if I knew there were so many naked women involved, I probably would have started this journey a lot sooner in my life. So I thought that was absolutely funny. So a big shout out to Cliff for all the amazing work he does. And guys, if you're looking for his last videos, go check him out on BitChute /Cliff_High. Absolutely amazing stuff there. And I just thought that was funny. But hey, let's pull some cards. This guy's been working hard. He's survived cancer. He's survived death actually 3 times now. And he's still here in the fight, very much in the fight for all of you watching the show and all of your children and the future of humanity. What does universe have to say to Mr. Cliff High? Anything he needs to know.
Yeah, he's a fighter, all right. This guy always defends his own honor. Okay, he defends it's the valor card. So he knows he's learned that he's worthy and he's defending his valor or his truth. Even if it's unique and a different approach than others, he's defending it. We've got this big ace. So he was given the voice on purpose and all his experiences to teach others. So he learns things and turns around and teaches from his learning. So everything he went through, he can turn around and with total conviction teach others from his work. So I've learned a lot about food, about what does he talk about?
The protocols for COVID, how to repair your body.
And different kinds of food and ancient times, what gave you the most vitamin D. And
Ayurvedic medicine, yeah.
So many things, just really practical things too. And it's been brilliant, actually. So he learns things, goes out there and experiences them, and then turns around and from his conviction and truth, totally teaches them to others. He's meant to be actually really enjoying life right now. I know that'll be hard because he's got a lot of people around him suffering. So he's talked about that. So, but the universe says if he could find a way to find joy, and I'm sure he does too, and I'm sure he would know how to do that, but to find joy and have a little fun along the way. And like that meme even is a little bit of fun anyway. Do you know what I mean? But because he's a lot of work here and he's been through so much and worked so hard and he's been working so hard, I feel like all the truthers are going to need a big holiday soon.
Yeah, absolutely. So a big hug to Mr. Cliff-High. And of course, you just talked about valor and honor, and these are at the core of who he is as a martial artist and also as a master of self. And this is part of some of his teachings there. So if you're not aware of his work, please do go check him out on BitChute. And as you're talking about the Ayurvedic, the foods and how to repair your body, his Pure Sleep concoction here is almost to be back in stock very soon. He sent me an email the other day. They're going to Pure Sleep 2.0. They've ameliorated the formula still, and they were also trying to avoid some of the issues with sourcing some of the core products for this amazing product. So anyways, this should be back in the shelves very, very soon here. So please do go check it out at puresleep.com. You can find also the link directly to this through my website, and you're looking on the affiliate shop page. So big thank you to you, Janine, for those kind words to Cliff. And if you guys like Cliff in the chat, just show him some love, man. Just type it in right now. We love Cliff. I want to count at the end of the show how many of you typed in "We love Cliff." That's going to be very interesting to me. Okay, where am I from? Am I an off-worlder? That's Natty asking from the Insider Access Pass. Natty question: where am I from? Am I an off-worlder? The reason I bring that up again, Janine, you and I talked about Alex Collier in our last Beyond Crypto Woo. I hope he has the opportunity to watch it. And you and I would love to have him on the show, of course. So this is an open invitation to Alex. And we want to have more of these conversations with respect to learning who we are and how we're connected to our space brothers and sisters. And this is a conversation that is absolutely worth our while as we recreate here the world for us humans organically, as opposed to being directed by the bug for so long. So Alex Collier, I will be emailing you very shortly to see if we could have a beginning of that conversation with Janine and myself. So Janine, Natty, is he off-worlder or she off-worlder? Where am I from?
She's definitely a traveler. So she's been all over the universe and galaxy as far as I'm concerned. A traveler. It was a bit of a shock for her to come here. She may have found she didn't fit in as between 0 and 4 years old. She might have got used to it at some point, but I feel like it was hard for her, this 3D world. She wasn't so into it. She's been all over the place from what I can tell. All kinds of secrets in her unconscious, that things she knows. If she just quiet her mind and just agreed to knowing. Sometimes I just ask myself to come up with the knowing, and you wouldn't believe the stuff that bubbles up. And I just accept it.
Yeah.
I go jot it down.
Yeah.
And it's the weirdest stuff, and it's turned out to be very accurate.
Okay, very good. And yeah, and a lot of people are asking that question, their provenance. And a lot of this has been obfuscated from us. And going back to Alex Collier, this last webinar or this last video that you watched from him too, what can you share that you felt was important here from the words of Alex Collier, so that our audience can also maybe become aware of his work and his latest messages?
He really, he describes his experiences when he was young, and has such a vivid memories, it seems, and his connections never wavered, it seems, with the connected ones that connect with him. So he's a bridge that you otherwise it would be hard. And I know there's other people in the world, the truther world, but he's been doing this a lot longer than most people. He's like the David Icke of the off-worlder information.
Absolutely.
And what I love is that he links it all to what's actually happening today in current events happening. And makes sense of it like that.
Yeah, and he has such a beautiful message about self-empowerment too, and waking up and graduating from being children to adolescents. Adolescent? What's the word in English? Adolescent? Teenager to adults. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah. So he's really good with that. Folks, go check him out at alexcollier.org. On top of that, Janine, you and I, let me see here. I had a point to make on that. I just dropped it from my frequency field. What was it? Man, I'll have to come out a bit. I just drew a blank. Okay, sorry about that, folks. Like I said, it's my third show today. There's a lot going on. Okay, how much time do we have left? We're at 46. Oh my God. Okay, we have a little bit more time. So I'll try to take a few more questions. But before I do that, let's talk about this last Astro Woo that we've just recorded. What are the highlights here for the audience members who may not have started watching this series here, as to why perhaps it would be beneficial to them? You just talked about all the current events that are happening right now and how much more is coming, and very, very quickly. So how does the Astro Woo, a personal zodiacs guide, can help them here for February 2022?
Well, it goes through every single sign. And I got to say, I'm going to toot Julie's horn. I mean, she blew me away. I am really good at just off the cuff reading charts. I'm not so advanced. Obviously, she's a lot more advanced than me. I could read someone's birth chart the way she does, but I've never seen somebody read so fluently just from the chart, like the transits and everything going on currently. And then she ties it all in with what's going on in the world. She brings some of that knowledge into it, and just at the depth of information. And then everything I was getting half the time, because I got to be honest, I was quite tired today. I wasn't listening to all her info. I was just letting it flow out. Then I would do a reading, and the reading would mirror her, what she said, but I didn't technically, because I didn't hear every word she said. I wasn't trying to match my reading or anything, but the reading, the tarot and the astrology, just the way they wove together and just gave a whole picture. I knew they worked together really well, but it's really together.
Yeah, it's really cool. And folks, also, if you want to maximize the content here for you in these readings, it really helps if you already have your birth chart. And if you don't have one, please do go check out maisonjupiter.com. And here in the boutique section, you're looking for the personalized birth chart. So knowing both your ascending sign and your sun sign, or your rising sign and your sun sign here, will greatly impact here the ability for you to take in some of the information here. This is 2.5 hour show here. So there's a lot of information in that last show. And we talked about also security in crypto. Just very quickly, Joe and I put out this recent security update here for the crash course. There's a lot going on in terms of scammers. Janine and I keep mentioning to the audience to be wary of people impersonating both Janine and myself here in the chat, asking you for your keys and for your cryptos, and to invest through WhatsApp and all these different apps. Of course, that's not us, but there's more than that too. There's very, very sophisticated scams here that are looking to separate separate you from your new well-earned abundance. So if you haven't seen this episode, please do go check it out. That is also now available on the pay-per-view. Now, I just remembered what I want to say. When you said, hey, Alex Collier has been at this for a long time, and you said like David Icke. Yes, absolutely. And I wanted to say, the first time I saw Alex Collier, it was on a VHS that somebody sent me. So it's like a VCR tape I actually had to watch. So this is a long time ago. Big credit, of course, to Alex for being around for so long. And man, he did get the ringer, so to speak, when he started talking about little people. That's when really the system started taking aim at him. And the fact that he's still out here, just like David Icke, now in his 70s, still doing the work and standing for what they believe in, is a testament to all of us here trying to follow in those amazing footsteps. Okay, Lotus 44 Silver. Janine, what's happening with silver? You and I were tracking this last week. Let me just bring this screen up on the screen here. Silver broke the 200-day moving average last week. We were looking at some old WebBot data that suggested that perhaps we had started on these $1-a-day moves to then move into $5-a-day moves and then $20-a-day moves until we got to unobtainium, or at least that $600 silver, and then unobtainium. What's going on this week here? There was a lot of pressure in the last couple of days. We have a little bit of a reprieve here today, a little bit of a buying opportunity. But where are we going here with silver?
So that's in the past. So it is worthy. So it's already worth a lot. Okay, it's just been repressed. So they're keeping you in the dark about how much it's worth. And it's worth a lot because it's scarcer than gold. And it's used for everything. And in the future, even more so. Okay. So interesting. And here's the next thing that happens. It's going to get let off its leash in a big way. It's going to go.
Wow. Yeah. And last time you pulled cards on that too, you had the fast movement card. Which one is that?
Yeah. And I pulled one to clarify. So it'll kind of do a huge, this is like shocking, but these that means shockingly fast, not ditching. You know what I mean? Not like crashing.
Right. Wow. Yeah. A lot of people are going to be surprised by all the moves. Okay. So guys, if you're looking at getting some physical silver in your own possession, please do go check out beyondmystic.net/silver. The links are in the description box below and also pinned to the top of the comments. If you're in Canada now, our Canadian affiliate program is now running with MF Bullion Canada. So you can click on that link on the screen. And if you're American, just fill out the form below here. And we're looking at the Valcambi bars. These are the 1 kilo bars at $275 over spot. Incredible deal. Considering right now how absolutely tight the market is, there's weird things happening on that. And I believe later this week, I'm going to have Bill Holter and perhaps Andy Scheckman back on the show to explain what's going on here with silver in these last couple of days. And that'll be a whole show, but they're very important, guys. So please do check out my schedule here as soon as I post that. Darren Leonard says, good luck counting that. Okay, so this person was referring to all the people saying I love Club High in the chat. And yes, there was a lot. So good luck for me to count all of those comments. And yes, big thank you to you. Empress of Alchemy Healing, are all the PayPal tip jar questions get answered in this show? No, we try our very best. And this is why Janine said to you, thank you every night, because it is also considered a tip, of course, to help us keep us going. We do our very best to answer them. I'll pick one or two more here before we end the show. And this is also why Janine and I give back on the Wednesday show, these amazing, beautiful pyramids from Carla at Ascension Organized. So we do our very best to answer questions, and also from the Insert Access Pass group. But no, it would be impossible to answer all of the questions. Otherwise, we'd be here for 24 hours just doing that. So thank you to all of you for supporting us there. Okay, so let me pick up. Let's do this Insider Access Pass question first, and then we'll go back to the PayPal tip jar. Question for Janine and Jean-Claude. We love and appreciate your show so much. Can you please see what universe wants to tell the brave truck drivers on their journey? Love that one. What do our amazing truck drivers, what do they need to know here?
Oh my goodness, beautiful. So breakthrough, they're going to break through, and they're bringing a message. They're actually going to break through and unite with their message, the sleepers and the awakened ones. They're going to break through because everybody can get their head around something as simple as we can't tolerate what's going on. We can't work with it. We need our freedom to just do our work. And here's what happens to the whole country if we don't. So you need us. Okay. And who's the ones messing with everybody? The government. The government, who's definitely not who we need right now. Okay. We need the truckers to be moving. Do you know what I mean? So they're going to unite everybody because everybody can get their head around. Even a full-on sleeper could get their head around a simple convoy like that going down. They've obviously got a point if they're doing that, and they're passionate, and they must be on to something. Okay. And everybody needs what they got. If you look around your house, everything in it was brought to you by a truck, probably.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right? Every single thing in there. So it's like, like everybody's going to be affected by it. Even people because I got friends and people who had no idea there's a truck convoy or there's going to be a massive shortages. They have no idea, you guys.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah.
They just think it's weird that they're missing things at the grocery store. It's just getting started. Okay, so this will be good. This is part of the wake-up call, and it's part of what's going to change everything, it looks like. It's for everybody. They're doing it for, so the universe says they're a gift to us. The fact that they organized, so we got to give and support them, because they're doing this as a gift. They're spending all of that time in their trucks. I know they do it every day, but it's their living. They're going to spend 3 weeks apparently in those trucks.
Incredible.
So if we make their life more comfortable, we got to do it.
Yeah. Somebody just sent me a meme through the Insider Access Pass. I'll bring it up. Yes, 10-4, good buddy. You guys know where this is from. Oh, that's really cool. Okay, I love that. That's a good reminder of just having fun also. Yeah. Okay, next question is, okay, Martha, this is interesting because both the Astro Woo Finance Show and the Beyond Crypto Woo is showing significant changes here to their financial world, starting maybe at the end of this month and in earnest here in February. So Martha is asking from the PayPal tip jar, I would like to know if Janine can tell me what my financial situation looks like in the next few months. And this is from Martha Brown. Thank you so much, Martha. So next couple of months, financial situation for Martha Brown.
Interesting. So she feels a little on hold, or she's waiting for something. She's not seeing something yet. So that person has a blindfold and they're waiting. But the thing is sitting right there that she's looking for. She's just not seeing it. So there's something that's going to improve her financial system or her situation, sorry. And it's right there, but she's just not seeing it yet. It's going to make things a lot better, even surprisingly better. This guy isn't like a windfall, but he's better than you thought. Like things work out even better than you thought. And you get a little more than you even thought was possible kind of card. But it's not like major windfall, but it's like things working out even better than you thought. So it's pretty sweet, right? And the outcome from that in the big picture is even more abundance down the road.
Okay.
So she's got abundance, this lady.
Wow.
I think the whole world in the future, and I don't know exactly how long in the future, but we're headed, instead of going to the dreary globalist vision of ruining our whole world, okay, we're actually going the other way, you guys. We turned it around. We're continuing to turn it around. We have to still be diligent and keep working at it, but we're actually going in the direction of more abundance, more loving the earth. It's meant to be abundant. I always remember hearing, okay, if the world is abundant, but how come we live in these dreary cities with bad air and most people's views are bad? When the world's so beautiful, why are we living all squished together? Okay, that was all planned by the globalists. They wanted it easy to mark, like get us all grouped together. They wanted all the land. That's proven to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They want all the land, and they want to do what they want to do with it, right? So the whole way things have created, we don't enjoy the beauty of the earth like we could. Some people do, but most of us don't. And that's going to change, you guys. We're going to get more comfortable here and make ourselves at home because we're not enslaved anymore. That's where we're going.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, there's a lot of love for Cliff in the chat. So I keep saying, like, so people are still typing that in. I'm just so amazed by this. And I want to say also to Cliff, if you're watching, like Janine, I echo the sentiment. I hope that you can find some pockets of joy in your life. I know how hard you work, and my heart goes out to you. And a big thank you for everything you do for this community. You've definitely impacted me throughout my awakening process, and you continue to impact me and my audience members to this day. So a big thank you to you, Cliff. Okay.
Hey, I love Cliff, and he says a lot of things very specifically about people that say things like I say, and it's very derogatory to that, like, because we don't agree on the gold standard coming up under, and the what is it? The RV.
He doesn't agree in Jacera and Nacera.
And like, who cares? Like, I still really think he's very valuable. So if he's okay with it, is it okay if I say that? Great, because he could say whatever he wants about it. As long as we're not attacking each other, it's like, it's okay.
It's okay to have a difference.
He doesn't see it that way, and that's fine. He could be right and I could be wrong, and none of that's going to matter in the big picture. I just want to share what I get, and if some of it is useful, that's spectacular. And if he's out there sharing, I have learned so much from him. So it's like, and I've learned from a whole bunch of people, but I don't always agree with what they say, and that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. Thank you. We'll end on that, Janine. It's all about discernment and leaving each and every one of us a way to participate in this communication and this conversation so that we learn a lot faster from each other. I am you and you are me. So I need to listen to you and you need to listen to me. We all need to listen to each other, not always agree, but still to understand these different points of views make us better humans. Absolutely. Okay, guys, just to make sure, this episode here, Astro Woo, we just recorded before we went live. So I will be pushing that out to the Insider Access Pass later tonight. I still have to edit and re-upload that for you guys. So that one will be available probably tomorrow for the pay-per-view general audience. Now, in terms of the Crypto Crash Course Security Update, that's already available now here for the pay-per-view. And the last Crypto Woo is also available now. Where did it go? Number 1. Oh, yeah, it was number 9. So this one here for February 2022, this one is also now available on BeyondMystic. And, of course, Janine is out of jail. So please do go and subscribe to Sending Ravens if you haven't already done so. And you can check out her latest work here at Tarot by Janine. Janine, I guess let's take a quick minute here for just one more reading for the audience here. As we look in the next couple of days, what does the universe want them to know here before our next show on Wednesday? Oh, and artwork says, good rest to you both. Yes, we need some rest.
Oh, it's like,
we're going to sleep well tonight, Janine.
Yeah. I wish I had some pure sleep to use.
I'll send you a pack. I still have a lot here.
Oh, good.
I know it's sold out, but I'll send you a pack if you want.
Okay.
All right.
You've got, okay, so temperance, so patience and perseverance, people. Okay, timing. So this card's, maybe it is my camera. I'm going to have to clean that off really. Sorry if that's the case. Anyway, temperance, so patience and perseverance, and it's about universal timing. You can't tell which way that water is flowing in the cup, and it's a winged creature. It's highly evolved. So the card and the word temperance, so it's basically referring to universal timing is in effect. There's nothing you can do about it. There's no human way to speed up, or we can't make if there is white hats working on our behalf, we can't make them go faster because all of this is universally, divinely planned. It's not just Like the whole thing is karmic and it's meant to happen. So we gotta go through this. There is no stopping it. Okay, it's the universe. Okay, it was given to us so we could evolve. So it's given to us as an evolution tool. The whole human race, it's almost like we're all going through that Saturn return together.
Yeah.
It's like that's what it's kind of like the feeling, right? As a human race, we're all evolving together. We're taking this giant step. And it's hard, growing pains and everything, but it'll be so much better. A lot of us have already changed our whole lives through this last couple of years. And when the dust settles, it'll be for the better. It always is. That's the way it goes. It always hurts, though, to do those changes.
Right. Absolutely. And, as you're talking about astrology here again, you just reminded me, you had so many words of wisdom in this last show. But one thing you said was like, hey, wait a second. What you were getting as a live download during this show is that the white hats were not trying to push and move the river. They're trying to flow with the river of time here. And there's a lot of these events now and these energy that are conducive to all the changes and the work that the white hats are trying to do, stepping up here in February. So that, again, that divine timing and moving with the water, being the water, as Bruce Lee would say, is upon us now. So fascinating times, folks. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you so much, Shauna, for that love comment, and everyone else in the live chat. You guys are absolutely amazing. This was Tarot Reading by Janine on Wednesday night. We'll see you again on Monday night. We'll see you again on Wednesday at 8 o'clock Eastern. I love you guys. Have a great evening, and weau see you soon. Au revoir.
Au revoir.